Hi, everyone. Welcome to Divine Sacred Tarot. Today's going to be a very, very unique message. The reason I'm saying this is because a couple of days ago, um, I asked the universe to show me more love. And there were three cards in particular that came out. But before I reveal what those three cards are, I wanted to share a little bit about what I've been feeling through, what I've been feeling, and what I've been going through. Now, it's the 18th of the 8th as I'm recording this. It probably won't air until maybe a day or two. But basically, I posted on my community page the sense of Satori, right? And it's literally, we've got um, I've got like a channeled song that is playing in the background and it's called Aurora. So if that resonates with anyone right now, that is something that is coming up quite strongly. What I'm feeling though is these unique senses of feelings, this sense of Satori that a lot of people who are listening to this message. Now, I've already warned in the thumbnail, if you're not resonating with this message, it's not going to be for you. You're going to know if this resonates purely because of how you are feeling. And this element of Satori, I'd written in my community, in my post page, that it's the moment where everything clicks, and whether you're a twin flame and or you're not, right? Let's just take the label out of this specific message because this feeling of Satori anybody can have, that this feeling isn't loud, it's not dramatic. It's this quiet knowing it isn't about your person, it's about you. It's about the element of pausing, and this is the type of pause that I keep saying for the last few weeks. I've done a lot of readings and I keep coming back to the pause. And a lot of times we've been conditioned to be busy, to, you know, um, continue to hustle because that's what society and life has taught us. And we've made choices which meant we've had to do those things as a consequence. So, say, for example, if you've got children or if you've got certain responsibilities, that you can't escape those. So, you have to do certain things in your life to keep up those responsibilities, whether it's paying your mortgage or going to a job that you need to pay those things. Everything that has come around has been a choice, but you are no longer in that chasing. I'm just seeing like a transmutation of energy, when I don't know if you guys have seen the Thor movie where they get transported from one dimension to another through the rainbow bridge. That's the type of energy that I'm literally seeing. We are not chasing anymore. We're not having to force ourselves through those channels. We've escaped through a certain channel and we're kind of in the next wave. Again, the other comparison Spirit is encouraging me to see is, in Finding Nemo, when all the turtles are on this channel or on this frequency, you have to join the wave. And a lot of you have removed yourselves out of that wave, out of that current. And when you do that, sometimes you feel alone. And the reason I wanted to come online and channel these things is since I've personally been sensing this experience of Satori, feeling good and loving unconditionally. Now, I've been reading some books by the wonderful Rebecca Yarros, and even when I'm reading it, you can tell there's so much love in the pages. There's so much love in the characters. And it really enabled me, even this morning, to go back on the reflection of, oh my goodness, I did love romantic books when I was a kid. I loved romantic stories. I loved not the Disney type, but I was always into the Jungle Book and things like that as a child. So I was very different. But basically, the romantic side of things, I saw in my family, I saw in my parents, I saw in the love that I had read in books. And she even claims, so Rebecca Yarros even claims in her interviews that thank goodness, right? She's got a skill and a gift to share this with the world, because she says that many of her male main characters are based on her person, her love that she has for her person, and vice versa, they have for her. That actually comes through on the pages, right? And she's such a talent. I'm so glad that I was able to read some of her literature, because these are the realizations that I've personally gone through, that I felt quite lonely. And the loneliness kind of came with me through life. The feeling hasn't ever shifted. It was almost like needing to be dusted off and uncovered, because those remnants of dust always kept popping up in my life. Now, it didn't matter where I was in life, when I was busy, when I stopped being busy, when I halted the momentum, when I was so uncomfortable, I channeled it. When I stopped and I was so uncomfortable, I channeled it into feeling lonely and unloved. But now I understand that feeling that I had in college, the feeling that I had in clubs, in crowds, in spaces, especially when I stopped, the feeling I had when I was alone, when I was abroad, when I was at work, when I was in my flat, even where I am right now, it was the loneliness that needed to be seen, because I was trying to escape it by being busy, by going on adventures, by doing certain things. And yes, temporarily the loneliness had disappeared, but I had this nagging feeling that I created the loneliness. And even now, I'm getting emotional about this, because I thought it was me who created my reality, that I separated myself from others, that I blocked people and kept my walls up. And when I let them down, when I opened to love, that was when I dealt with the parts of me that needed more love. Even my throat is getting blocked up now. So let me just repeat that last bit. When I let them down, when I let those walls down, when I was able to truly open up to love, that's when I was dealing with the parts of me that needed more love. But I was still alone. Why? The question always came through. Why? What's wrong with me? Now, those are the questions that carried so much weight. Now, this morning, since I've been reading the book series of Flight and Glory, I'm seeing it from a different perspective. I'm understanding that this feeling, and the current song that is playing is Starstruck by Jeremy Natag. It is a blessing. It is a blessing to have this feeling. It's because that I am able to see and feel the ways to be loved, to be able to ask what I want, to understand how I'm worthy of those things, not deserving. Not everything is earned in this reality, but my right to be here and experience. And when that sudden realization occurred, that I haven't missed out. I haven't missed out by not having a solid long-term relationship, because all my long-term relationships are credit to the love that exists in my world. But the revelation is, it's knowing that this feeling I've been having was all meant to see, no matter where I existed in the world, the loneliness wasn't in finding new people or places or changing the things around me. I knew this, of course I did. But what I mean is, it's not in the long term relationships, but how we're able to share these things with one another. It's almost as if when we see couples, when we see people together, when we see love, when we see pure, unadulterated love, we want to find a witness for all our hardships and successes. And that is what our soul is looking for in this reality. Witnessing to say, I was here. Now, it is part of the ego, but of course, the soul was never alone. It was never lonely because the love existed in the deepest parts of ourselves. So when we go deep, we don't find the light, neither do we see the dark. We see the equilibrium, the balance, the wholeness. So, what does this all mean? Well, I'm still not quite sure, but what I'm being channeled to share with you all is being here is such a blessing that I wasn't able to see the wholeness of the loneliness I had felt, the wholeness of the peace I felt within. Now, it came in glimpses, it was sharded by sparkles of where I had experienced a particular feeling. So it brought me back to the present moment, those highs and lows, right? But the wholeness is accepting all the parts, the shards, the sharpness, the broken pieces, the residuals. Those are all embodying within. It's not to change the loneliness that we felt, but embrace that it was threaded in the story. So if you're resonating with this, you probably went through some of these similar feelings. And the underlying principle of teaching us, teaching me in particular, is every snowdrop is unique. We wouldn't change that if we tried because we're seeking purpose, we're seeking our mission, and we're finding beauty rather than accepting our own imperfections. And it's one thing to say it, but it's another thing to feel it. And that's why I wanted to come back to this sense of Satori, not just because we found elements of peace. It finally feels more powerful than the longing. Now, the connection is always a part of us, but it no longer controls us. We see this person or these people or anyone around us as love. We wish them so much success, the ability to thrive, but we no longer need closure or validation or return because we are always the home that we've been searching for. So this isn't the end of the journey, but it's the awakening towards our true self within it. And I'm not saying this to provide some lip service. All I'm saying is the underlying principle to know we were never whole. We weren't supposed to seek wholeness. We were always a kaleidoscope of colors. And the three cards that I wanted to share with you all is the Vajra Yogini, the essence of all Buddhas. I have the power to make each moment sacred. Everything is material for my liberation. The second card is the Margaret Poretti, and she is the mystic of divine love. That she explains that love is divine and that I am nothing except love. And then the final card that we have here as confirmation is from Mirabai. And Mirabai is the saint of true freedom. Love is what sets me free. I am married to my own soul. And I just want to read a little excerpt of when our soul seeks this message. Why did you click on this message? Not to just to hear my own perspective and story. No matter what has happened recently or in the past, we are being reminded that we possess the fierce wisdom that transmutes any pain or suffering into deeper lessons that free us and bring us more joy. This is the call by Vajra Yogini that we've woken up. We've fallen into that old myth that something or someone outside of us is going to save us. That's pretty much what I've been saying in the channeled message. I have goosebumps. Now, Vajra Yogini is here to make it loud and clear that what is within us will save us. and that we can take this moment right here, right now, and turn everything sacred. Her mind is sharp, intense, and uncompromising, and she will not let you remain in the illusion or a disempowering story about who you really are. She's here to sever all the ties to your ego's relationships to a person or an event in your life and see it with the third eye, with the wisdom that it can be perceived as a deeper spiritual path beneath the human drama. Now, this female Buddha is the power we all have in every moment to take seemingly everyday events or annoyances or unfortunate occurrences and use it for our enlightenment. She reminds us that everything is rich. It is here to elevate our reality and embody our soul. So, where can we see the lesson in the chaos? And for those of you who love numbers, I'm going to share with you that Yogini, pardon me, is on page number 117. And Margaret Porret is on the page number 17. Now, you know when you're resonating with these messages. And Margaret Porret is sharing the message that love is divine, that I am nothing except love. You are nothing except love. There's nothing more powerful than remembering that we are love and that there is nothing and no one outside of us that needed in order for us to realize this very thing. And it is between our experience of the divine and our own soul, we can let go of what we think we need to prove or who we think we need to be in order to receive love, because we remember that we are love. When we can stand in our truth, even through flames. Margaret is a courageous truth teller, and the truth of her experience is that love alone can free us. That's the type of message that I felt in that oracle reading at the start. Not the love of another might give us, not the love of family or of friends. All of this powerful and significance. All of this is powerful and significant, pardon me. But the true source of love for us is, in fact, that we are a soul and that the soul is in union with the divine. She reminds us that when we've forgotten that love is the essence of who we are, and that true love is found within. Love has no beginning, no end, no limit, and I am nothing except love. This is the time to own and know the truth more fully, and it is the most profound and radical act we can ever take, knowing that love we already are. And Mirabai, the final message, I absolutely love these messages thus far because I feel they're so channeled to the oracle message that I received. And often, without even realizing it, we make choices based on those external expectations, on how we think other people will perceive our actions. Mirabai is doing what's right for you and no one else. Ultimately, only you can know what needs to be done or said. You have this one brief life, and every second matters. And Mirabai is about standing up for what you know is right for you, even if others will judge you for it. That's what I was saying, is coming out of that current. There is a fear of being persecuted. And that can convince us to not be true to who we really are. There is a love, though, that is far greater, far larger than human constructs and cultural values. Love isn't ethical. Love isn't bound by any idea of what's socially acceptable. Love is what sets us free from the expectations that bind us. Love, in whatever way it finds us, asks us to stay loyal to our own soul. Any outside force or person who asks us to betray our most intimate relationship with the divine isn't acting out of love. For Mirabai, her true husband wasn't the one she was married to, the love that made her brave, the one that inspired her every poem and action was the divine love of Krishna. So the laws that bound her to the strict expectations of being a wife didn't actually apply to her. Love asks us to look at what really matters to us and what we truly value. And love asks us to be bravely able to defy expectations in order to be true to ourselves. Love wants us to marry our own soul. You guys, I have no other words right now. I'm just in awe of these cards and these messages, and I'm just sending you guys so much more love and awakening towards you, yourself, and your own soul. And if this resonated and you're still here, please do send that love and radiance through the sparkly button of the like button. Share it in the comments if this is something that you felt called to. And I will see you on the next one. Bye for now.